The Honourable Member for Suave.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. I too want to contribute to this important debate on the budget. Mr. Acting Speaker, I take note of the comments made by my esteemed colleagues in supporting the budget and in providing guidance for how we can improve. I just basically want to start by saying, Mr. Speaker, that there's a real need for Treasury and the government to really look at what's happening at the micro level, as the Honourable Governor of East Sepik mentioned. There's a big disconnect into the impact that we're feeling at the rural districts, in the settlements, on the fringes of the peri-urban parts of the cities, and this is because of failed implementation of the budget. Mr. Speaker, when I asked about budget visibility, and now I commend the Treasurer for being prudent at the macroeconomic level with his fiscal management. But at the lower level of society, Mr. Speaker, people are really struggling. There's a big disconnect. So when we're talking about transparency and budget implementation, we want to know how much money did the Treasury release on warrants to agriculture, for example, to health, to law and order, to planning. We want to know how much was commerce and industry given for the SMEs. Then we can hold ministers to account, the government can be accountable, and our people, because this is the people's money, Mr. Speaker, and they deserve to know exactly how that money is being spent. Now the good Minister for Labour, with her economic predisposition, talked about how we're tracking with respect to performance in the budget. She failed to mention the negative correlation between GDP growth and unemployment. If you prepared to tell this Honourable House that GDP has been growing and increasing, then we should also see a proportionate reduction in unemployment. So where are the jobs, Mr. Acting Speaker? 2023, we put forth and passed an historic budget of 24 billion kina. So where are the jobs? And I'm not talking about just any job, I'm talking about decent jobs that Papua New Guineans can be proud of, that Papua New Guineans can be employed, gainfully employed in, to pay for school fees, to pay for medical bills, to pay for insurance, to save. When we're talking about GDP, we're talking about four components of GDP. We're talking about consumption, we're talking about government spending, we're talking about investments and net exports. This is a very, very important document because it talks about the government's money plan and our contribution to overall GDP. It's serious business. But the Treasurer has to start to move away from this habit of measuring the economy on GDP. We've got to get down to the granular level. We've got to talk about per capita income. We've got to talk about jobs. We've got to look at the national savings rate of Papua New Guinea to demonstrate how much savings is taking place in the country to reflect the economic health of the country. China's national savings rate is 45%. The last measurement of the national savings rate in Papua New Guinea was 1.65% in 2017. Papua New Guineans aren't saving. Businesses aren't saving. We're not creating a conducive environment. So how can we promote investments in the country, Mr. Speaker? This is not happening. If we're talking about how people are suffering in terms of, let's look at the tax, inflation. Consumer price index is over 5%. We've got GST at 10%. How can an average Papua New Guinean on minimum wage afford a 15% reduction, notwithstanding all the debts and borrowings that they've got to go to on the black market, where we all know that the rates they charge on borrowers are over 50 to 100%. It's just completely untenable. Why aren't we looking at increasing minimum wage by 300% and taking some real tough measures to promote the livelihoods of average Papua New Guineans?